Joined now by your head coach of the Lady Demons, Anna Nimz, and a 73-60 victory tonight over Nicholls. Let's start with how exciting it is for yourself and the girls to get a win in front of these fans at Prather.
It is, and it's keeping fans believing. I know we've lost a few games, and I'm sure we've had some people kind of doubt what was going on. Then we snagged that one against McNeese, so we got people back interested. And then we go on the road and we lose two. Maybe people get a little more disinterested, and then we come into Prather, and I thought just good fans overall. Is that, obviously as we get later into those quarters, we got the people coming in a little bit early to catch a little bit about what the Lady Demons are about prior to watching the Demons play. But I think they're starting to see it. I think you can get behind this team. I think you can get excited about this team. It's slowly but surely coming together, and I think Sharna nailed it perfectly. It's the end of the season, and we're just now figuring out how to play together. And to date, we haven't been playing with an entire team. We're still not. And so we're still in the growing phase of what most people got done in October and November. But I'm just happy. I'm happy for the girls. I'm happy they're believing in themselves. That's been the number one game key probably for the last 7 games, is believe in your ability, trust in your teammates. And we always followed up with, and obviously your staff believes in you. Something we talked about a little bit before the game, and we really try to impart different things outside of the game of basketball. How important it is to believe in yourself. At the end of the day, what you feel about yourself is more important than what anybody feels about you. And so just the more you continue to self-talk, positive talk, believe in yourself, put the work in that's going to allow you to be a little more confident in yourself. But that's just in life. Put to the side what anybody else thinks. As long as you believe in you, then you got an opportunity for success. And I think the girls are really buying into it.
Well, while we're kind of on the topic of life, let's talk about something that is bigger than life and something you guys wanted to do tonight. You're wearing the Fort Cancer shirt right there. The girls and yourself, the whole coaching staff contributing over $830 prior to the game. Who knows what that number got up to at the end of the game. Just talk about the efforts of everyone to give back to the St. Jude's.
Yeah, it's something that's really near and dear. So I've done that. I've been a coach, head coach for 13 years, and it's something that I've made sure we've done every single year. Everybody does breast cancer, and it is Cancer Awareness Month. Breast cancer obviously is it's something that impacts so many of us, not just women, but men alike. When about 10 years back, my sister-in-law was diagnosed with stage 4 of 5 skin cancer. She was given 1 year to live, and I probably will likely cry. So hold on. But we're 10 years later, and she's still just the biggest miracle ever. I remember her and I had a conversation one time, and it was when she wasn't feeling too good. You never would know it. You really had to dig deep to know what a good day or a bad day was, because she's just tougher than anything. She said, I would take cancer for the rest of my life if it meant kids didn't have to. And at that year, I actually switched my fundraising efforts in every school I've been at, and they haven't told me no yet. I just pushed the issue, and we may start with one, but we always try to direct it towards St. Jude's. And I think, cancer affects so many of us. It's just awful. But if we could keep it from our kids. And so what we talked about today in the huddle was just, it's not about the amount. They're college kids, they're broke. You'd be amazed at some of the things they donated. And I said, it's emotional to know what they donated. But it's always about something much bigger than basketball, and to be able to kind of teach that today. As excited I am about the win, my heart's just on fire for the selflessness that the girls showed. And we just, anytime, if your kid has cancer, I can't even imagine. But to have that, and then to have to worry about how to pay for it. And St. Jude's is just excellent. They pay for absolutely everything. So if your child has cancer and they're at St. Jude's, you're not getting a medical bill, you're not getting a gas bill, you don't have to figure out where to live, you don't have to figure out how to feed the rest of your family back home. And so I think kind of talking through that with the girls, it either worked or they're just that selfless. But either way, I think basketball presents opportunities like this, and I think that's what makes student athletes so special. They just have a different opportunity than most traditional students. But I'm proud of the girls, proud of my staff. I wish I could pay them more every day. They work tirelessly for this program. When I put up my donation for every single one of my staff members, including my GA, who does not really get paid, to match me, I just think there's so many good things about this program, and I know a lot of success is measured by wins and losses, but to me this program is winning in so many facets that have nothing to do with basketball.
Well, as someone who's been around it, I would completely agree with you. A lot of selfless people, a lot of selfless players, and you just hit on something that we'll get to right before we actually talk about this game. This group of girls is selfless. They love playing for one another. Is that one of the key things that is helping them build down the stretch of this season?
It is, and it's something just, we try to figure out different ways of coaching each kid and trying to figure out different ways to get things to sink in. I think a lot of times kids go on the defense automatically. And so we've just continued to try to figure out how to say what we're saying and maybe a different tone of voice, or maybe after they've sat down. But just mostly, again, it's about believing in yourself, and how we go from that or segue from that is when you do your job so well, you create opportunities for other. So now it's about you believe in yourself, you do your job, and you create those opportunities. Now it's time for you to trust in your team. And I think through maybe the first part into the second part, instead of just, hey, cough it up, I think it's starting to sink in. And maybe that's wishful thinking, and maybe it's just everything they've figured it out on their own, not just from playing games. But you'd like to think that some of that's working, and they're becoming more and more selfless. And I think maybe a couple of them felt like they had to put the weight of the team on their shoulders just because we were so far down in numbers. And so I think there's a little bit of a deep sigh of relief because we're able to play a little more into our bench, and we're able to play through our teammates. And I think it's really starting to work for them.
Well, let's talk now about the actual gameplay here. 73-60, you shoot over 50% from the field, 60% from three-point range. The team shot the basketball very well today. I know as a head coach that loves to shoot it a little bit, that's got to feel good.
It does, and again, but it was all based off good basketball plays. It wasn't selfish taking shots and forced shots. It was the ball had turned sides of the court. They've created an extra possession. They executed a play, whereas sometimes we'll draw something up and it doesn't necessarily make it to the court. I think their focus is just changing. I think the maturity is happening in a little bit more often. And I'm really excited about that offensive end. I'm excited mostly about our defensive rebounding. I mean, we out-rebounded them by 20, and that's another area we've struggled with. But I'd be remiss if I didn't mention 26 turnovers. And, great that we shot it well tonight, great that we rebounded well tonight, but 26 doesn't normally turn into 11 points. It's normally 40-some-odd points. And so we've got to shore that up. We've got to get better 100% in that area before we touch the ball on Saturday.
Let's talk a bit about Ayers. We just had her as one of our players of the game. She's had a crazy journey. It's been a tough season for her, but it looks like she's starting to come into her own. Had 11 points tonight, 3 big three-pointers that I felt like was kind of the spark early on. I know as a head coach that's pulling for your girl out there, it's got to be really good to see.
I'm pulling for our girl, but boy, I'm ready for that girl to catch fire, and she's starting to catch fire. And when you bring in a piece of the puzzle that you just really feel like it's going to spark some real good basketball. And then she's been sidelined the entire, probably the first 10 games because of stuff with the NCAA. And then the first game she plays, she gets hurt. And it's been one thing after the next for that kid's mental fortitude to really stay strong. It's commendable because, and then as she got out of her boot, she broke her finger. So, I mean, it's been the journey that child has taken from Marquette to LSU to NSU to boot, finger, cast. She's been through the whirlwind, and so for her to make any buckets is just incredibly impressive. I would say that's some big time resiliency.
5 players scoring in double figures tonight. This was a great team effort, and I think that's kind of the building effort, right? Moving towards being hot at the right time. And when you start seeing everyone contributing like that, that leads you to believe that's what's happening.
Exactly. It's just encouraging. It's encouraging as long as we continue to add some minutes to every single game, limit, obviously, tremendously our turnovers, and shore up a lot of those moments where we kind of start to spiral and get and lose focus. We do that. We stay the course, add a couple more minutes to every single game. It will be a tough team to face in that first round.
Final thing I have for you, UNO coming up on Saturday. You beat them 75-47 earlier in the year. It's really about coming out and being yourself on Saturday to take care of business, right?
It is, and we can't really look at last game because every single team in the Southland gets better every single game. And in this conference, as many as any conference, it's anybody's night on any given day. Whoever's the best team that night. It's not who's the best team. It's not about where anybody sits in the standings. It's about who's the best team that night. And as of late, I think UNO's been the best team a handful of times. They've got their best player back. They didn't have her when we played them. We had one of those miracle nights and we shot incredibly well. Now I want to do that again, but we're going to have to really fine tune some stuff. We're going to have to stay tight on defense, and they're a pesky defensive team. So we're going to absolutely have to take care of the ball. Take care of the ball, rebound, believe in them. I got confidence in them.
Head coach of your Lady Demons, Anna Nimz. Thank you so much.
Fork 'em Demons.